I would now like to welcome Dr Deb Carr, the DASA Innovation Partner Scotland from the Defence and Security Accelerator, who's going to discuss how SMEs can bring innovation to the defence sector. Deborah is a chartered engineer, a fellow of the Institute of Minerals and Mines, and the fellow of the Chartered Society of Forensic Sciences. It's a lot in there.
It's a mouthful.
Her research background is in body armour and helmet optimisation, wound ballistics, clothing and textile sciences, and forensic textile science. DASA funds and fast-tracks innovation for armed forces and national security by supporting UK prosperity. So I'm sure we're all delighted to hear what Deborah's going to tell us about today. Deborah.
It's a pleasure, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody.
Just as soon as it just of course went off when I hit the pointer.
Just while we're waiting for the slides to come on, it's a delight to be in Elgin. It's literally 3.5 years since I was last here. The first time I came to Elgin was over 20 years ago, and I came with an American friend who has heritage from this region. Her name is Ellen Wishart Chase, which will be a familiar name to some of you who are in Elgin and Elgin based. The Wishart family contributed to the exhibition there. At the time, I loved this coastline. This is 20 years ago. I still love this coastline. And I came up a little bit earlier, I must admit, and took a bit of memory lane driving along the coast. It's still as good.
It should be perfect.
I really want to thank you for the welcome to Elgin this morning, and also to the event. Really appreciate it, and I appreciate the opportunity to chat to you today. I'm going to chat for about 15-20 minutes. I've got a stand. Please come and chat to me afterwards if you want some more information. I'm based in Scotland. I stay in Dr, so I'm only just down the road from wherever you are, or up the road from wherever you are. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. If any of you are from outside of Scotland, I have colleagues based regionally who are just like me. Maybe not just like me, that would be bad. Who would also be delighted to chat to you. So what I'm going to chat to you today about is what we do basically. So can I have the next slide, please? So thanks for the very kind introduction. This is our mission statement. I'm not a great believer in reading out mission statements, but basically we give you money to develop your ideas if we're interested in them. And I'm the find bit. So some people might call me a technology scout. I think it's more than that, because I don't just scout. I chat to people. I help introduce them to different parts of the Ministry of Defence or National Security that they might be interested in. Next slide, please. We, like many other organisations, use a technology readiness level scale. The MOD, of course, has its own technology readiness level scale. It is subtly different to some that you might have come across, such as the NASA scale, which I think is the one that most people are used to. So this is the one that we use. It's on our website. I should say that our website can be a little tricky to navigate. It's based on gov.uk. We all know how easy gov.uk is to use. If you ever have any problems finding any information about DASA, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and I'll send you the link directly. Don't waste too much of your time. I don't know if these slides are going to be sent out afterwards. I'm quite happy for them to be, or hosted on the website or whatever. So it'll be easy for you to find this TRL scale. Next slide, please. So what do? Well, we've got quite a complicated list of funding and support that we now offer. We're about 6.5 years old, and whilst we've been accelerating ideas, we've also been accelerating ourselves. So, for example, when I joined the organisation, we had 21 people. We've now got just about 100. So what we basically do, I'll just wait for that admission, is we run competitions, so competitive funding process, less than technology readiness level 6 typically. We offer business mentoring. This is relatively new. We have an access to, we have an access to mentoring and finance person based in Scotland, who again, like me, is very happy to connect with you face to face or remotely if you wish. We also now have a number of schemes that provide higher technology readiness level funding. DTEP, which was mentioned earlier,
For the 2 seconds, I'll just
we're very excited about DTEP. £16 million investment from central government, and so I want to see Scotland grab its full fair share of that. And it's all about connecting small businesses to those larger businesses that have got the direct contract with organisations. And we also provide access to our customers. So if you get funded by us, you will get somebody to work with who's a real living, breathing person who works for the MOD or for national security. that obviously is a great networking opportunity to show them all the other wonderful things that you do as well. Next slide, please. So, why else might you want to work with DASA? Well, first of all, absolutely anybody can apply. We are not limited in size of company, so we fund sole traders, we fund micro organisations, we fund SMEs, we fund large businesses, and we fund academics. You don't need a partner typically to apply to us for most of our funding schemes. So you'll be aware with some funding schemes, for example, if you're a small business, you have to find an academic to work with, or you have to find a large business to work with. We don't make you do that. It's all about the idea for us. It's about having the right team of people to progress the idea. We provide primarily 100% funding. There are some of our newer schemes that aren't quite 100% funding, but primarily we provide 100% funding. So full economic cost, 100% funding. Quite unusual. We don't take your intellectual property. We also don't take any equity in companies. And we've tried to make our application and assessment process as simple as possible. So in other words, it doesn't take too much of your time to apply to us, and it doesn't take too long for us to give you an answer. Typically, if the competition closes, you usually got an answer within 6 to 8 weeks. If you've got a fund decision, you're on contract within 6 weeks. There's not many other parts of the civil service that can do that. And our funding is eligible for R&D tax credits. Now, if you're a small business and you're sitting in this room going, R&D tax credits, I don't know about them, have a look on gov.uk, talk to a business advisor. They're very beneficial, particularly for small businesses. Next slide, please. Sorry, I can come sit there. Just to give you an idea about what I've been up to in the 4.5 years that I've been based in Scotland, so DASA Scotland is working. In that time, we've had 423 applications, 91 projects have been funded to £16 million. So this is money coming from central UK government to Scotland, so it's money gained in Scotland. The map shows you where the proposals come from, and there's a list of funded projects on that embedded link that will be in the presentation when you get it. But if you want to find those funded projects, then basically they are on our homepage. If you scroll down towards the bottom, keep an eye on the bottom right hand corner, you'll see them there. What I'm now going to do is very quickly talk to you about some of the themed competitions that are currently open. Thank you. What I'm going to do is talk to you about some of the themed competitions. Which button is it, by the way? To the right. Talk to you about some of the themed competitions that are currently open. Now, this one closes quite soon. It'll give you a flavour of the types of competitions we run. So this is point of care diagnostics phase 2. There's £1 million in the pot. We're looking for projects that are going to finish at TRL 4-5. We're going to fund 1 or 2 projects, so it's a good level of funding for the project. And this is about low burden diagnostic techniques. Now, what do I mean by that? So cast your mind back to the Salisbury and the Amesbury nerve poisoning incidents. Okay, all the clear up that went on. Obviously, the locations have to be identified. What we're interested in is making sure that people who are doing the actual decontamination are safe. So if they go and do the decontamination, they come back, they have to strip off their protective clothing, they have to go through a decontamination procedure, and then somebody who's not been involved has to check them. So what we want to do is to make sure that people are not put at risk. So that's what this competition is all about. It does close quite soon, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because it gives you an idea of the flavour of things we're interested in. This is very new, this is very exciting, this is very low technology readiness level. So do you have a wacky idea that you think might benefit defence and national security? Would you like 50k to develop it over 4 months? Come and talk to me. That's what this is all about. So this is no holds barred. Anything you can come up with, this is not even generation after next, it's beyond that. This is stuff that maybe is going to happen in 2050, 2060. You know? So think about some of those things, those novel and creative ideas and technologies that maybe you've had buzzing around in the back of your brain thinking, well, nobody will ever fund that because it's a bonkers idea. We might do. Okay, this one closes midday the 12th of October. No holds barred, come and chat to me. This one is all about cybersecurity. It's not my field of expertise, but this is all about looking at Cherry onto ARM's Morello system on a chip. Now, if you don't know about this is going to be the future. So this is going to get rid of all the security problems, not just in defence, but everybody. It's going to be in every mobile device, not even just phones, every mobile device in the future. And defence wants to have a look at Cherry, and specifically looking at ARM's, so ARM is a manufacturing company, Morello system. If you're interested in cybersecurity, you probably understand a lot more of that slide than I do, quite frankly. Like I said, it's not my area of expertise. I'm a body armor person. But if you're interested in this, do let me know. Come and have a chat. Should launch on the 12th of September. It's going to close on midday, 14th of November. £1.5 million in the pot. Each individual project is going to be about 100k. So, you know, it might be up to say 150. That's absolutely fine. 10 months projects finish at the end of January 2024. The last one I just want to raise your attention to is one that's going to open in late October. Royal Marines want a new landing craft. A new commando insertion craft is what it's going to be called. You can see the conditions that they're interested in up on the screen there. Basically, there's £1 million in the pot. There's going to be these two main themes. So there might be whole craft concepts. This might be a consortium of people working together, or it could be individual technologies that might contribute towards the whole craft. So if you work in this area, if you've got an idea, keep an eye open for that competition that's going to launch in October. Now, as well as those theme competitions, we've also got an open call. So if you've got a good idea that you think might benefit defence or security, that's TRL4 to TRL6 that you're looking for some funding for to develop, come and talk to me, because we might fund that. We're looking at maximum 24-month projects. Those projects are typically 350k, but there is no official fund limit. We have, for example, funded one of these projects in Scotland at 800k quite recently. So there is no fund limit. The open call runs in 2 monthly cycles, broadly 2 monthly. The next two closure dates, 20th September, probably too soon to consider. The one after that, 23rd of November. Have a chat with me about your idea. I'll go and ask our customers whether they're interested in seeing a full proposal before you waste a lot of time writing a proposal that maybe nobody's interested in. And I promised you just a little bit about some of this higher technology readiness level funding that we're very, very excited about. And I want to highlight just two of the opportunities. There are actually 4 or 5 on the table, but these two in particular I want to highlight. And the first one is the DTEP programme. This has got backing at the highest ministerial level. And basically, as I said to you earlier, it's a grant funding process. It is a competitive process, and it's all about connecting smaller companies, lower tier companies, with higher tier companies who might already be those suppliers into the MOD. So if you've got an innovative idea and you want to work with one of the big boys, one of the defence primes, for example, either in Scotland or wider in the UK, it doesn't matter, then we can help you make those connections and we can fund the work that you're going to be doing. That's basically technology readiness levels 3 to 7. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. I'll connect you with the right person, the person who's actually spearheading that work here in Scotland. And then I also want to raise defence innovation loans to you. So many of you will be aware that Innovate UK run a loan scheme that offers very preferential business rates compared to what you might get from a bank, even if the bank would be willing to actually fund you. But you're probably also aware that Innovate don't fund defence ideas. So we now have defence innovation loans. So it's basically the Innovate scheme, and Innovate help run it for us for defence. So we fund it, they help administer it. If you're interested in those innovation loans, and therefore ideas that are greater than technology readiness level 6, they help you move towards commercialisation. Again, reach out, have a conversation with them. And finally, I just want to highlight an example of a small company, a micro-organisation in Aberdeenshire that we've helped fund. And they talk about DASA in terms of if it wasn't for DASA, GLIC wouldn't exist. So GLIC is a 2-man business. The primary person has a daughter who does a lot of horse riding. And he got a bit cheesed off of getting wet, hitching and unhitching the horse box for his Land Rover every time he went to a horse fair. So he's an engineer. So he sat there and he thought, I wonder if I can just press a button on my Land Rover and it just does an automatic hitch. So I don't have to get out and get wet. And that's what he developed. And then he came to see me at an oil and gas meeting. And he basically said, I know nothing about oil and gas, because I used to work in that field, but I've developed this. Do you think the military might be interested in it? So we've funded him. And basically what he has developed is an autonomous vehicle to trailer connection system for the NATO hitch. So you'll be familiar with regular commercial hitches. We have a special hitch called the NATO hitch. So anyone in NATO uses the same hitch. Everything's going automated and autonomous in the military. So we are going to have autonomous vehicles that take supplies to the front line. Now, if something becomes unhitched in that trailer, there's nobody to rehitch it. But if you've got an automated hitch, then you can do it. So what they've done is they've grown their business. They've gone from sort of 1.5 persons really to 3.5. That doesn't sound a lot, but it's 100% growth. They've had 2 DASA contracts, and we've given them business development support to aid commercialisation and further growth. They're coming down to DVD, which is a massive vehicle defence show with us down in near Bedford in a month's so time, and they're going to be part of the DASA stall so as we can expose them to the wider defence community. So check out Glict. They're a great small Scottish company. And here's some of the other small Scottish companies that we've supported and are bringing them to their products to commercialisation for the military. And very, very finally, here's how you can keep in touch with us. So we are on gov.uk. Go to gov.uk, in the search box, type Defence and Security Accelerator, hit return, it'll take you to our landing page. It's not always easy to find things, as I said, but reach out to me and I'll find you the direct link. The Accelerator is on Twitter and on LinkedIn. They're very, very active in terms of social media. I do LinkedIn, I don't do Twitter, I just don't have time to do both, to be perfectly honest with you. Reach out, connect with me on LinkedIn, come and chat to me today, drop me an email next time I'm in town, or if you're down the road somewhere, we can hook up, we can have a cup of coffee, have a chat about your idea and how I might be able to help your small business connect with defence and or national security. So thank you very much for your time and listening. Thank you again.